Welcome, dear friends, to a gentle journey through the mysterious and captivating world of Fallout, a universe shaped by nuclear destruction, where the echoes of the past linger in every irradiated corner of the wasteland. From the creation of the vaults to the factions that rose from the ashes, the stories of Fallout are woven with the remnants of civilizations long gone and the hope for a future that flickers in the darkness. Tonight, we will wander through the mysteries of this post apocalyptic world, from the technology that survives to the strange and twisted creatures that roam its scorched lands. Each piece of lore we uncover is a soft whisper from the past, an invitation to understand the journey of those who survived the Great War and those who continue to walk the path of the unknown. As you settle into the stillness of the night, let the stories of Fallout guide you gently, filling the spaces of your mind with quiet wonder. Let go of the day and let yourself drift into the peaceful comfort of this strange and fascinating world. And if you enjoy drifting through stories like this, you're welcome to subscribe and softly share where you're listening from tonight. Now, let us step softly into the heart of Fallout, where mysteries await and the stories of the past continue to echo through the ruins. Fact 1. In the world of Fallout, the vaults were designed as a symbol of safety, hidden underground, promising protection from nuclear fallout. Yet the true purpose of many vaults was not to safeguard their inhabitants, but to conduct cruel and secretive experiments. These vaults became laboratories where humanity's survival was sacrificed in the name of scientific progress. While some were built to test social engineering and genetic manipulation, others focused on isolation or forced cooperation. Over time, the vaults became more than just shelters. They became places of lost hope and twisted histories. Fact 2. The Pip-Boy, an iconic piece of technology in the Fallout series, is a small wrist-mounted device that serves as both a personal assistant and survival tool. It allows its user to track quests, inventory, health, and even radio signals. Its green monochrome screen and retro-futuristic design make it an instantly recognizable symbol of the Fallout world. Though its practical uses are numerous, it also represents a connection to the pre-war world, a time when technology was meant to improve life before it was corrupted by the war's aftermath. Fact 3. Super mutants, one of the most terrifying creatures in the Fallout universe, were once ordinary humans until they were transformed by the forced evolutionary virus, FEV. Originally developed by the US government, the FEV was meant to enhance human abilities, but the virus mutated its hosts into towering inhuman monstrosities. These super mutants are impervious to radiation, have heightened strength, and an insatiable thirst for destruction. They roam the wasteland in large, menacing groups, often with the goal of converting more humans into mutants, forever altering the course of humanity. Fact 4. The Brotherhood of Steel, a faction of highly disciplined soldiers, originated in the pre-war US military. After the Great War, they became a force dedicated to the preservation and study of technology. The Brotherhood's obsession with controlling advanced tech, especially power armor and energy weapons, made them both protectors and oppressors. They view themselves as guardians of humanity's future, but their strict code and their need to control knowledge often lead to conflict with other factions. Despite their noble ideals, the Brotherhood's path is a hard one, defined by constant battles for survival. Fact 5. The wasteland is not only dangerous because of the mutated creatures and hostile factions, it's also a place where radiation lingers like an invisible shroud. Once a peaceful land, the Earth is now scorched by nuclear fallout. Radiation has twisted the flora and fauna into grotesque forms, and the very air you breathe can carry deadly doses. However, it's not all destruction. Some areas, like the glowing sea, contain remnants of the world that once was, filled with eerie beauty amidst the devastation. This radiation, while hazardous, is also a constant reminder of mankind's self destruction. Fact 6. Ghouls are a tragic reminder of the Great War's lasting effects. These survivors, who were exposed to extreme levels of radiation, were mutated into mindless, decaying creatures known as feral ghouls. However, some ghouls retain their sanity and become some of the most interesting characters in Fallout. They bear the physical scars of the apocalypse, their faces twisted and their bodies decayed, but their memories and thoughts remain intact. They are, in many ways, the bridge between the past and the present, living testament to both the cruelty of radiation and the resilience of the human spirit. Fact 7. The Enclave, a shadowy faction with ties to the U.S. government, is one of the most dangerous organizations in the Fallout universe. They believe that the Great War was a cleansing event, meant to eliminate the weak and make way for a purified human race. To this end, the Enclave works tirelessly to restore control over what's left of America. They possess advanced technology, including powerful robots and energy weapons, which they use to enforce their vision of a new world order. Their secretive nature and ruthless methods make them a constant threat to the wasteland's inhabitants. Fact 8. In Fallout, the wasteland is full of strange and beautiful ruins of the old world. The once glorious cities, now reduced to rubble, offer glimpses into a civilization lost to time. Vault Tech, the company responsible for the creation of the vaults, has left behind remnants of its grand designs, large underground facilities meant to house humanity's best and brightest. Some vaults, like Vault 101, remain isolated and untouched by the outside world, while others, like Vault 13, play a crucial role in the unfolding story of survival and tragedy. Fact 9. The New California Republic, NCR, is a faction born out of the ashes of the old world, a republic trying to restore some semblance of civilization to the wasteland. Formed in the aftermath of the Great War, the NCR aims to bring order, law, and democracy back to the world. While their ideals are noble, their expansionist tendencies and bureaucratic inefficiencies often cause friction with other factions. The NCR's struggles are a reflection of the challenges humanity faces as it attempts to rebuild a broken world, often torn between ideals and practical realities. Fact 10. The mysterious courier, a protagonist in Fallout, New Vegas, has a pivotal role in the fate of the Mojave Wasteland. This individual, a simple messenger, becomes embroiled in a conflict between the New California Republic, Caesar's Legion, and Mr. House, an enigmatic figure who controls New Vegas. The courier's journey is one of self-discovery, with the choices they make influencing the future of the Mojave and beyond. It's a story of fate, freedom, and the uncharted paths that each person can take in a world that has been irrevocably changed. Fact 11. The vault experiments were not designed to help the inhabitants, but rather to test social and scientific theories. Vault 101, for example, was an experiment in isolation, where the residents were never allowed to leave. The goal was to see how they would evolve without any outside influence. Vault 13, on the other hand, tested the effects of limited resources, as the inhabitants were never provided enough water. These experiments left deep psychological scars on their survivors, and the results were often far darker than anyone could have predicted. Fact 12. One of the most iconic items in Fallout is the Power Armor, a technologically advanced suit that grants the wearer enhanced strength, agility, and protection. Originally developed by the US government, Power Armor was intended for military use, but became a symbol of survival in the wasteland. The Brotherhood of Steel, in particular, made it their trademark. Despite its intimidating appearance, power armor is not just a tool for battle. It represents the last vestiges of pre war technological prowess, offering a glimpse into a world that could have been. Fact 13. The Mojave Wasteland, setting of Fallout, New Vegas, is a desolate desert landscape, yet it's filled with rich lore and conflict. The area is home to various factions, such as the New California Republic, Caesar's Legion, and the enigmatic Mr. House. The region's contrasting beauty and danger reflect the choices that must be made by those who live there. Despite its harsh conditions, the Mojave is a place where hope, power, and ambition still thrive, and its people continue to struggle for control over what remains of the old world. Fact 14. Rad scorpions are one of the most feared creatures in the Fallout universe. These mutated scorpions have become larger, more aggressive, and far more deadly than their pre war counterparts. They are highly resistant to radiation and can survive in the harshest environments. The rad scorpion's stingers can inject lethal poison, and their relentless pursuit of prey makes them a terrifying presence in the wasteland. They serve as a reminder of the dangerous, unpredictable consequences of the Great War's fallout. Fact 15. The Institute, a secretive and technologically advanced faction in Fallout 4, is responsible for the creation of synths, artificial humans that are virtually indistinguishable from regular people. The Institute's motives are shrouded in secrecy, and their experiments on the synths raise ethical questions about what it means to be human. Though they claim to be working for the betterment of humanity, the Institute's actions often led to tension with the Commonwealth's residents, who see them as a threat to their way of life. Fact 16. The wasteland is home to many ruins of the old world, some of which have been reclaimed by nature, while others remain untouched by time. The National Guard Depot, for example, is an eerie reminder of the war's devastation. Located in the Mojave Wasteland, the depot is filled with remnants of the military and serves as a haunting symbol of the once great nation that fell. The skeletons of old tanks and military vehicles are scattered across the landscape, now only echoing the stories of a forgotten past. Fact 17. The Deathclaws, terrifying predators that roam the wasteland, were originally created as part of the U.S. military's effort to produce biological weapons. These massive reptilian creatures were meant to be used as living weapons in battle, but they soon became a menace to everyone they encountered. Known for their incredible strength and speed, Deathclaws are among the most formidable threats in the wasteland. They are a stark reminder of the horrors that the pre-war government unleashed in the name of power and control. Fact 18. The Vault Tech Corporation was responsible for the construction of the vaults, but it had a much darker agenda. While Vault Tech marketed the vaults as shelters from nuclear devastation. Many vaults were secretly designed to conduct unethical experiments. Vault 87, for instance, was the site of experiments with FEV, leading to the creation of the supermutants. Vault Tech's hidden intentions, fueled by the promise of safety, left a legacy of tragedy and horror as the vaults became both the cradle of humanity's future and its darkest secrets. Fact 19. The Brotherhood of Steel is often seen as a military order, but they also have an extensive library of pre war knowledge. This trove of information, accumulated from the ruins of Old World civilization, is a key part of their mission to restore technology and safeguard humanity. Despite their sometimes cold and authoritative nature, the Brotherhood views itself as protectors of humanity's future. Their focus on technology, while noble, often creates tension with other factions who fear the Brotherhood's dominance and their unwavering belief in the importance of preserving the past. Fact 20. The Great War, the nuclear conflict that ravaged the world, occurred on October 23, 2077. In a matter of hours, the world was plunged into chaos. The devastation was absolute, with nuclear bombs decimating entire cities and leaving the earth a scorched, irradiated wasteland. Yet despite the apocalyptic destruction, pockets of humanity survived, either in vaults or scattered across the ruins of civilization. The Great War's legacy lives on in the lives of those who continue to wander the wasteland, searching for meaning in a world that has been irrevocably changed. Fact 21. In Fallout, New Vegas, the Legion is a brutal and authoritarian faction led by Caesar, a man who seeks to restore the ancient Roman Empire in the ruins of the Mojave. The Legion's methods are harsh and uncompromising, relying on slavery, crucifixion, and military conquest. Despite their cruelty, they believe they are restoring order and strength to a world ravaged by chaos. Their belief in survival through strength and discipline contrasts sharply with the more democratic ideals of the new California Republic, setting the stage for a conflict of ideologies that will shape the future of the wasteland. Fact 22. The Mojave Desert in Fallout. New Vegas is home to the mysterious Black Mountain, a towering rocky outcrop that holds secrets of its own. Atop this mountain is the Nightkin, a group of super mutants who were affected by the Stealth Boy technology, rendering them invisible but also driving them insane. They serve as a haunting reminder of the cost of experimentation and the unpredictable outcomes of radiation and technological interference. Black Mountain's eerie silence and unsettling presence stand as a monument to the madness that can arise from both science and desperation. Fact 23. The Pip-Boy 3000, the most iconic version of the Pip-Boy, features a wrist-mounted display that tracks vital signs, inventory, and even a player's current objectives. This simple yet highly functional device has become a symbol of hope and survival for those living in the wasteland. With its glowing green screen and intuitive interface, the Pip-Boy allows survivors to navigate the harsh world of Fallout, even as it serves as a constant reminder of the old world's lost technologies. It's not just a tool, it's a companion that stays with you as you journey through the wasteland. Fact 24. The Brotherhood of Steel's obsession with pre-war technology has led them to seek out the remnants of military-grade hardware across the wasteland. One of their most prized possessions is the Vertibird, a military helicopter capable of rapid travel and advanced combat. These aircraft were once used by the U.S. government to deploy soldiers and supplies quickly during wartime. Now, they are a rare and highly coveted piece of military technology. The Brotherhood's ability to maintain and operate these machines speaks to their technical prowess and their relentless drive to secure the remnants of America's former power. Fact 25: Fallout 4 introduces the Institute, a shadowy faction that controls advanced robotics and artificial intelligence. At the heart of the Institute's operations are the synths, highly advanced humanoid robots that are indistinguishable from humans. The Institute's creation of these machines has sparked controversy and fear among the Commonwealth's residents, as the synths are seen as both a blessing and a curse. Some view them as the next step in human evolution, while others see them as a dangerous tool of control, questioning the moral implications of creating life that is devoid of a soul. Fact 26: The vaults were originally conceived as a way to protect humanity from the fallout of nuclear war. However, many of these vaults were later revealed to have been part of an experimental program designed to study the effects of various social and scientific conditions on isolated groups of people. Some vaults had specific conditions, such as Vault 12, where the inhabitants were exposed to lethal doses of radiation to observe the long-term effects. These experiments were kept secret, and many vault dwellers were left to suffer without knowledge of their true purpose. Fact 27: One of the most tragic figures in Fallout history is Harold, a man who was exposed to the forced evolutionary virus and became a walking tree. His transformation is a symbol of the unintended consequences of the pre-war government's experiments with biology and genetics. Harold, once a simple man, became a key figure in the wasteland's struggle for survival, seeking a way to cure himself of his plant-like condition while attempting to protect the wasteland from the very forces that created his cursed existence. His journey is a poignant reminder of the cost of humanity's attempts to play God. Fact 28: The G-Itsuke Garden of Eden Creation Kit is one of the most sought-after pieces of technology in the Fallout universe. Designed to help survivors of the Great War rebuild the worlds, the G-Egg is capable of transforming barren, irradiated land into fertile soil, bringing life back to the wasteland. Though its true capabilities remain a mystery, it is believed to be capable of turning the tide for humanity's future. Many factions, including the Brotherhood of Steel and the New California Republic, search for it, each hoping to use it to reshape the world in their image. Fact 29: The Wastelanders, survivors of the nuclear apocalypse, come from all walks of life. Some are wanderers, seeking shelter and security in a world devoid of both. Others are merchants, bartering goods and information in exchange for food, water, or ammunition. Still, others become mercenaries, fighting for the highest bidder. The people of the wasteland are as diverse as the landscape itself, each with their own story of survival, loss, and hope. They are bound together by a shared struggle to live in a world that has been irrevocably changed by the horrors of war. Fact 30: The Mirelurk, a mutated crab-like creature, is one of the most fearsome predators in the wasteland. These creatures are known for their aggressive nature, hard shells, and terrifying pincers. Mirelurks can be found in bodies of water, particularly in swampy areas, like the Fallout 4's glowing sea. Their presence serves as a reminder that the waters of the wasteland, once a source of life, have become home to deadly mutations. The mirelurk's relentless pursuit of its prey adds to the dangers that survivors face as they traverse the hostile environment. Fact 31: Vault 76, introduced in Fallout 76, was one of the first vaults to open after the Great War. It was designed to test the process of repopulation, with the idea that its inhabitants would be the first to return to the world and begin the rebuilding process. Unlike most vaults, Vault 76 wasn't part of an experiment. It was meant to be a symbol of hope. However, when its doors opened, its residents found the world far worse than they imagined, facing new dangers and a struggle to rebuild a civilization that had been lost to time. Fact 32: The Nuka-Cola is an iconic drink in the Fallout universe, known for its distinctive taste and its status as a symbol of pre-war consumerism. Developed by the Nuka-Cola Corporation, it became one of the most popular beverages in the United States before the Great War. After the war, Nuka-Cola remained a staple in the wasteland, with various flavors like Nuka-Cola Quantum and Nuka Cherry, each offering unique properties. It is more than just a drink. It's a piece of the old world, a reminder of the time when people gathered around for something as simple as a soda. Fact 33: The super mutants of Fallout were created from human beings exposed to the forced evolutionary virus, FOV. These mutants are immune to radiation and have immense strength, but they have lost much of their humanity. In some instances, super mutants still retain some of their memories and emotions, which makes them tragic figures. However, they are often driven by a need to expand their numbers and seek out others to transform. This relentless drive for survival, combined with their brutal nature, has made them a constant threat to the inhabitants of the wasteland. Fact 34: In Fallout 3, the Lone Wanderer is a young person who embarks on a journey to find their father, who has mysteriously disappeared from the safety of Vault 101. This journey takes them through the ruins of Washington, D.C., and into the heart of the capital wasteland. Along the way, the lone wanderer becomes involved in the conflicts of the wasteland, encountering factions like the Brotherhood of Steel, the Enclave, and the Raiders. Their search for their father becomes much more than a personal quest. It's a story of survival, fate, and the choices that shape the world. Fact 35: The Brotherhood of Steel isn't just a military faction. It's a group deeply obsessed with preserving humanity's technological advancements. One of their key missions is to locate and secure pre-war technologies, particularly military hardware. However, their approach often leads to conflict with other factions that see their monopolization of knowledge as dangerous. The Brotherhood's strict adherence to technology and their refusal to share it has caused rifts with other groups, making them both revered and feared in the wasteland. Fact 36: The Glowing Sea, featured in Fallout 4, is a vast area of the wasteland that is bathed in intense radiation. It was once home to a military facility, but after the Great War, it became a dangerous, irradiated zone filled with deadly creatures and mutated survivors. The environment of the Glowing Sea is harsh, with thick, green fog and radiation storms that can strip away health with each passing second. Despite the danger, the Glowing Sea is also a place of mystery, hiding secrets about the pre-war world and the scientific experiments that once took place there. Fact 37: The Mojave Outpost in Fallout New Vegas serves as a military base for the new California Republic. It is strategically located in the Mojave Wasteland, serving as a vital point for communication and supply between the NCR and other settlements. Despite its importance, the outpost is understaffed and under resourced, making it vulnerable to attacks from both the Legion and other hostile forces. The outpost's residents, primarily NCR soldiers, must defend it while struggling with their own doubts about the NCR's capacity to protect the wasteland. Fact 38. The Fallout universe's unique setting is filled with radiation storms, unpredictable events that add a new layer of danger to the wasteland. These storms are caused by the immense levels of radiation still present in the world after the Great War. They are marked by a swirling, glowing mist and can cause severe damage to anyone caught in them. Survivors must be constantly vigilant, as the storm's effects can alter the environment, mutate creatures, and even change the landscape. These storms are a constant reminder that the world is in a state of permanent upheaval. Fact 39. The wasteland is home to many mutated creatures, but none are as fearsome as the Deathclaw. These towering reptilian predators were originally created for military purposes, but they quickly became one of the most dangerous threats to humanity. Their immense strength, razor-sharp claws, and unmatched speed make them nearly impossible to defeat. Deathclaws are known to stalk their prey with ruthless precision, and encountering one is often a death sentence for any unprepared traveler. Their presence in the wasteland is a chilling reminder of the destructive power unleashed by humanity's experiments. Fact 40. The Enclave is a mysterious and powerful faction that believes in the purity of America's pre-war ideals. They are one of the few groups in Fallout that still claim direct descent from the U.S. government, and they operate under the belief that the Great War was a divine cleansing of the weak. With access to advanced technology, including robotic soldiers and the powerful Exo-1 power armor, the Enclave's goals often put them at odds with other factions who seek to rebuild society in a more egalitarian manner. Their presence in the wasteland adds to the tension and mystery. Fact 41. The wasteland is full of strange, mutated creatures, and one of the most feared is the Yao Guai, a mutated bear that roams the forests and mountains of the post-apocalyptic world. These creatures were once simple bears, but the effects of radiation have turned them into terrifying predators. With massive claws and the ability to move quickly through the wasteland, Yao Guai are relentless in their pursuit of food. They serve as a reminder of the unpredictable consequences of radiation and how nature itself has been irrevocably altered by the Great War. Fact 42. The radiation that permeates the world of Fallout is one of the most significant features of the environment. While it has led to the mutation of flora and fauna, it has also created dangerous and inhospitable zones like the glowing sea and the fens. Radiation is not only a physical threat, it's a constant presence in the wasteland, changing landscapes, bodies, and lives. It warps the very nature of survival, forcing humanity to adapt, endure, or perish in the face of the toxic world left behind by the Great War. Fact 43. The Fallout universe's lore is rich with mysteries, but one of the most intriguing is the Vault-Tec Corporation's role in the creation of the vaults. Originally founded as a company focused on shelter construction, Vault-Tec soon became more insidious. Many of the vaults, while designed as safe havens from nuclear fallout, were also used as experiments in human behavior. Vault-Tec's experiments on social engineering, isolation, and genetic mutation have left a legacy of pain and suffering in the survivors. The truth about Vault Tech's true goals remains one of the darkest secrets of the wasteland. Fact 44: The Mojave Wasteland and Fallout. New Vegas is known for its rugged terrain, but it's also home to one of the most iconic settlements, New Vegas itself. The city, built around the pre war casino, has managed to survive thanks to the enigmatic figure, Mr. House. He controls the city with an iron fist, using advanced technology to keep himself alive for over 2 centuries. New Vegas is a beacon of civilization in an otherwise chaotic wasteland, offering gambling, luxury, and a sense of normalcy in a world where both are rare commodities. Fact 45: The Brotherhood of Steel's obsession with technology often leads them to clash with other factions. However, their technology has been essential in the wasteland's struggle for survival. One of the Brotherhood's greatest assets is the T-45 power armor, which offers unmatched protection and strength to its wearer. The Brotherhood's members, donned in this imposing armor, serve as both protectors and enforcers, ensuring that advanced technology is not misused by other factions. Despite their noble intentions, their use of power often raises questions about their true purpose in the wasteland. Fact 46: The Great War, which took place on October 21st, 2077, was the catastrophic event that marked the end of the pre war world and the beginning of the wasteland era. The war was a result of escalating political tensions and the proliferation of nuclear weapons. Within hours, most major cities were obliterated, and the Earth became a radioactive wasteland. Despite the massive loss of life, some survived by taking shelter in vaults or escaping to remote areas. The Great War's legacy continues to affect everything in the wasteland as survivors struggle to rebuild from the ashes. Fact 47: The lone wanderer from Fallout 3 embarks on a quest to find their father, James, who has mysteriously left the safety of Vault 101. As the wanderer searches for answers, they encounter a variety of factions and individuals, each with their own agenda. The journey takes them across a dangerous and unpredictable landscape, filled with mutated creatures and hostile human factions. Along the way, the lone wanderer discovers that their father's mission was more than just personal. It involved saving the wasteland and possibly all of humanity from the brink of extinction. Fact 48: Fallout. New Vegas features a unique faction known as Caesar's Legion, a brutal and merciless group that seeks to restore the glory of the ancient Roman Empire. Led by Caesar himself, the Legion's empire is built on a foundation of slavery, conquest, and authoritarian control. Their methods are harsh, and they view the wasteland's inhabitants as weak and in need of discipline. The Legion's ruthless approach to achieving their vision stands in stark contrast to the more democratic ideals of the new California Republic, creating a tense and violent rivalry in the Mojave. Fact 49: The NCR Rangers, an elite division within the new California Republic, are among the most skilled and feared individuals in the wasteland. They serve as the eyes and ears of the NCR, often operating in the most dangerous territories. Known for their marksmanship and tactical prowess, the Rangers are responsible for maintaining order in the wasteland, dealing with threats from super mutants, raiders, and other hostile factions. They are a symbol of the NCR's strength and determination, although their methods and the challenges they face are often called into question by those who disagree with the NCR's mission. Fact 50: The Enclave is one of the most mysterious and powerful factions in the Fallout universe. Comprised of remnants of the US government, the Enclave believes in the purity of the pre war world and seeks to restore America to its former glory. However, their methods are extreme, and they are willing to destroy anyone or anything that stands in their way. The Enclave's advanced technology, including highly advanced power armor and robots, makes them a formidable force in the wasteland. Their ultimate goal is to cleanse the world of what they deem to be unworthy survivors. Fact 51. In the Fallout universe, the Institute represents one of the most advanced technological forces in existence. Hidden beneath the surface of the Commonwealth, the Institute controls cutting edge robotics and artificial intelligence, including their most controversial creations, the synths. These synths, designed to be indistinguishable from humans, raise ethical questions about the nature of life and identity. The Institute's desire to improve humanity, though well meaning, often results in conflict with other factions who view their methods as dangerous and morally ambiguous. Their secretive nature only deepens the mystery surrounding their true intentions. Fact 52. Fallout 4 introduces the Minutemen, a group of settlers dedicated to protecting the Commonwealth from hostile forces. The Minutemen are a symbol of hope, unity, and the spirit of community. Despite their good intentions, they are often overwhelmed by the various dangers of the wasteland, such as raiders, deathclaws, and super mutants. The player's involvement with the Minutemen can lead to the restoration of order in the Commonwealth, but their path to success requires gathering resources, allies, and overcoming the harsh realities of a world torn apart by war and destruction. Fact 53. The wasteland is filled with relics from the pre-war world, and one of the most iconic is Nuka-Cola. Originally designed as a soft drink, Nuka-Cola became a symbol of consumerism in the pre-apocalyptic world. After the war, Nuka-Cola continued to survive in the wasteland with various flavors and versions such as Nuka-Cola Quantum, which glows with a strange blue light. Nuka-Cola isn't just a drink. It represents a time of innocence and joy, a stark contrast to the dark, dangerous world that followed the Great War. Collecting Nuka-Cola memorabilia is a popular pastime for many wastelanders. Fact 54. The Fallout universe is known for its diverse and complex factions, and one of the most influential is the New California Republic, NCR. Founded with the goal of restoring democracy and civilization to the wasteland, the NCR is a vast, expanding faction with a focus on law, order, and territory. However, their growth comes at a cost, as their bureaucratic inefficiency and imperialistic tendencies often put them at odds with other factions, such as the Legion and the Brotherhood of Steel. The NCR's ability to maintain its ideals while dealing with the complexities of the wasteland is a constant struggle. Fact 50. The Deathclaws are one of the most fearsome creatures in the Fallout universe. These massive reptilian monsters were originally created as part of the US government's biological weapon program. Deathclaws possess extraordinary strength, speed, and resilience, making them nearly impossible to defeat. Their sheer brutality and terrifying presence make them a symbol of the horrors of war and the unintended consequences of the government's experiments. Encountering a Deathclaw is often a death sentence for any unprepared traveler, and even the most experienced survivors avoid these monsters whenever possible. Fact 56. The glowing sea is a highly radioactive area located in Fallout 4 that was once home to a military base. After the Great War, the region became a toxic, irradiated wasteland where radiation levels are so high that it's almost impossible to survive without proper protection. Despite the dangers, the glowing sea is also a place of mystery and wonder, home to ancient pre war ruins and remnants of the old world. It's a place where survivors come in search of answers, but they must navigate the deadly radiation and the unpredictable creatures that call it home. Fact 57. The Brotherhood of Steel is known for its strict adherence to a code of honor, focusing on the preservation and control of pre war technology. One of their most iconic features is the power armor, a suit of combat armor that grants immense strength and protection. The Brotherhood believes that by controlling advanced technology, they can protect humanity from the dangers of the wasteland. However, their refusal to share these technologies often puts them at odds with other factions who view the Brotherhood's monopoly on power as a threat to their survival and freedom. Fact 58. The super mutants in the Fallout universe were originally human, but after being exposed to the forced evolutionary virus, FIV, they were transformed into towering, inhuman creatures. While they possess immense strength and resistance to radiation, super mutants also struggle with their loss of humanity. Many of them retain memories of their past lives, adding a tragic element to their existence. Despite their physical superiority, super mutants often seek acceptance and purpose in a world that sees them as monsters, making them some of the most tragic characters in the wasteland. Fact 59. The Enclave is one of the most enigmatic and powerful factions in the Fallout universe. They are the remnants of the U.S. government and believe in restoring America to its pre war glory. The Enclave's methods are ruthless, and they believe that the Great War was a divine cleansing of the weak. Their ultimate goal is to purge the wasteland of anyone they deem unworthy, using advanced technology and military might to achieve their ends. Despite their self-righteousness, the Enclave is seen as a dangerous and oppressive force by many factions in the wasteland. Fact 60. The Institute, a secretive organization hidden deep beneath the Commonwealth, plays a pivotal role in Fallout 4. They are responsible for creating the synths, artificial beings who are indistinguishable from humans. The Institute believes in the potential for technological progress to save humanity, but their methods are controversial. The creation of synths has led to moral dilemmas and fierce opposition from groups like the Railroad, who believe that the synths deserve freedom. The Institute's complex motives and their role in shaping the future of the wasteland make them one of the most mysterious factions in the game. Fact 61. In Fallout, New Vegas, the Mojave Wasteland is a place of stark contrasts. It's home to the luxurious New Vegas Strip, a city of lights and entertainment, yet it's surrounded by desolate desert terrain, filled with danger. This juxtaposition symbolizes the struggle between hope and despair in the wasteland. While some inhabitants of the Mojave hold on to dreams of rebuilding, others are trapped by their pasts. The chaos of factions, like the New California Republic and Caesar's Legion, only heightens the tension, making the Mojave a battleground for control over the future of the region. Fact 62. The Vault 111 story in Fallout 4 revolves around one of the most poignant moments in the game's history: the cryogenic freezing of vault dwellers for over 2 centuries. Vault 111 was meant to house the inhabitants for a short time, but its purpose changed when the Great War occurred. The player's character, frozen within, wakes up in a wasteland full of dangers, only to discover that their family has been lost forever. Vault 111 represents both the hopes for survival and the horrors of an unplanned, cruel fate. Fact 63. In the post apocalyptic world of Fallout, feral ghouls are humans who have been driven mad by excessive radiation. Over time, the radiation has destroyed their minds and bodies, leaving them as mindless, aggressive creatures that attack anyone they come across. While they may once have been ordinary people, feral ghouls are now a constant danger to survivors. The transformation from human to monster is a tragic consequence of the Great War, showing how radiation and time can strip away even the most basic of humanity. Fact 64. The Institute in Fallout 4 is shrouded in secrecy, and its motives remain unclear to most of the Commonwealth's inhabitants. Beneath the surface, they continue their experiments with cutting-edge technology, creating synths, artificial beings indistinguishable from humans. The Institute's goal is to advance humanity through these creations, but their methods are often morally questionable. They view their work as a necessary evolution, but to the outside world, their experiments are a threat to freedom and humanity's survival. Fact 65. The Nuka-Cola Corporation in Fallout symbolizes the rise and fall of consumerism. In the pre-war world, Nuka-Cola was the drink of choice for millions. The company's success led to the creation of various flavors, including the glowing Nuka-Cola Quantum. After the war, however, Nuka-Cola's legacy lives on as one of the most iconic brands in the wasteland. Survivors continue to search for bottles of Nuka-Cola, and some even collect its memorabilia, preserving a taste of the old world in a landscape filled with decay and destruction. Fact 66. The wasteland is home to many hidden treasures, but one of the most valuable is the Garden of Eden Creation Kit, GECK, which has the ability to restore life to barren land. The GECK was meant to be a tool for rebuilding civilization after the Great War, a beacon of hope in the post-apocalyptic world. However, its rarity makes it a coveted item, and its true potential remains largely a mystery. Many factions seek the Jiska as the key to restoring life and prosperity, but only a few have ever succeeded in finding one. Fact 67. The Fallout series features numerous dangerous and mutated creatures, but few are as terrifying as the Deathclaws. These massive reptilian creatures were originally created as biological weapons by the U.S. government. However, after the war, they became one of the most lethal predators in the wasteland. Known for their razor-sharp claws and unmatched strength, Deathclaws are capable of taking down even the most well-equipped survivors. Their presence in the wasteland is a constant reminder of the horrors of the Great War and the unintended consequences of humanity's experiments with genetic engineering. Fact 68. The New California Republic, NCR, is a faction that represents the best of humanity's aspirations for the future. After the Great War, they sought to restore the old world's ideals of democracy, freedom, and law. However, the NCR's rapid expansion has led to internal struggles and a bloated bureaucracy. Despite these flaws, the NCR remains one of the few factions with the ability to bring order to the wasteland. Their focus on rebuilding civilization is tempered by the realities of survival in a harsh, unforgiving world. Fact 69. the Mojave Wasteland in Fallout. New Vegas is home to a series of ancient ruins, remnants of the pre war world, that offer a glimpse into the past. These ruins, from destroyed military bases to abandoned cities, are often dangerous to explore, filled with radiation, hostile creatures, and remnants of past conflicts. Yet, despite their dangers, the ruins hold great historical value, providing survivors with knowledge of a time before the Great War. These locations are a reminder of what once was and what could have been if humanity had avoided the war. Fact 70. In Fallout 4, the Vault Tech Corporation's experiments are revealed to be far darker than anyone could have imagined. While Vault Tech marketed the vaults as shelters for the survivors of the Great War, many of them were designed for secret, inhumane experiments. Vault 95, for example, was the site of an addiction experiment, where the inhabitants were deliberately addicted to chems in order to study their behavior. These experiments were part of Vault Tech's broader goal to test the boundaries of human endurance, and the consequences were devastating for the individuals trapped inside. Fact 71. The Railroad, a faction introduced in Fallout 4, is dedicated to freeing the synths as created by the Institute. They see these artificial beings as slaves and fight to give them the same rights as humans. The Railroad operates in secrecy, using intricate networks and covert operations to rescue synths from the Institute's control. Their efforts are dangerous and often lead to conflict with the Institute, which sees the Railroad as a threat to their plans. The Railroad's fight for freedom is a symbolic representation of the struggle for equality in a broken world. Fact 72. The Vault Boy, the cheerful mascot of Vault Tech, is one of the most recognizable symbols in the Fallout series. He represents the hopeful, pre-war attitude toward the vaults, but his image has become ironic over time. While Vault Tech presented the vaults as safe havens, many of them were secretly designed for cruel experiments. The Vault Boy's bright, smiling face serves as a reminder of the tragic contrast between the optimistic promises of the old world and the harsh reality of the post-apocalyptic wasteland. His image has come to symbolize both hope and betrayal. Fact 73. The Fallout universe is full of mutants, and one of the most tragic is Harold, a human who was infected with the forced evolutionary virus, FLV, which transformed him into a grotesque, plant-like creature. Harold's transformation was a result of experiments gone wrong, and he spent his life searching for a cure. Despite his appearance, Harold retains his memories and emotions, making him one of the more sympathetic characters in the wasteland. His story is a poignant reminder of the unintended consequences of humanity's attempts to control nature. Fact 74. The Institute's influence extends far beyond the Commonwealth. In Fallout 4, they are responsible for creating the synths, highly advanced artificial beings designed to serve as replacements for humans. The Institute believes that the synths are the next step in human evolution, but many see them as a threat. The ethical dilemma surrounding the synths is central to the story of Fallout 4, raising questions about what it means to be human and whether artificial beings deserve the same rights as their creators. Fact 75. The Death Claws, a terrifying species created for military purposes, have become one of the most iconic threats in the Fallout universe. These mutated creatures are incredibly strong, fast, and dangerous, with razor-sharp claws that can easily tear through armor. Despite their origins as military weapons, deathclaws have become a natural part of the wasteland's ecosystem. Their overwhelming strength and relentless hunting make them one of the deadliest creatures in the world, and encountering one is often a near fatal experience for any unprepared survivor. Fact 76. The Enclave, one of the most powerful factions in the Fallout series, believes in the restoration of pre war America. They view themselves as the rightful heirs to the United States government and seek to rebuild the country according to their own vision. The Enclave's methods are extreme and often involve the use of advanced technology, including robotic soldiers and powerful energy weapons. Their belief in the purity of pre war America leads them to attempt to eradicate anyone they deem unworthy of survival, including the Wasteland's survivors. Fact 77. The Pip-Boy 3000 is the most famous version of the Pip-Boy, a wrist-mounted device that plays a central role in the Fallout series. It serves as a personal assistant, inventory manager, and survival tool, providing information on health, objectives, and stats. The Pip-Boy is also used to interact with terminals and radio stations, making it an essential part of the gameplay experience. Its retro-futuristic design, with its glowing green screen and buttons, has become synonymous with the Fallout franchise, symbolizing both the past and the future. Fact 78. In Fallout 4, the Commonwealth is home to a number of different factions, each with their own ideals and goals. The Brotherhood of Steel, the Institute, the Minutemen, and the Railroad all vie for control of the Commonwealth, with each group offering a different vision of what the future should look like. The player must navigate this complex web of factions and make decisions that will shape the fate of the Commonwealth and its people. The struggle for control is a central theme in the game, highlighting the challenges of rebuilding society after the apocalypse. Fact 79. The Fallout universe is filled with fascinating characters, and one of the most mysterious is Mr. House, the enigmatic ruler of New Vegas in Fallout, New Vegas. A pre-war businessman, Mr. House managed to survive the Great War by using advanced technology to keep himself alive for over 200 years. He controls the New Vegas Strip with an iron grip, using robots and advanced security systems to maintain order. His ultimate goal is to restore New Vegas to its former glory, but his methods are often viewed as authoritarian and self-serving. Fact 80. The Mojave Wasteland is home to several dangerous factions, including Caesar's Legion. This brutal group, led by the self-styled Caesar, seeks to restore the Roman Empire's ideals in the wasteland. The Legion is known for its harsh methods, including slavery, crucifixion, and conquest. Their goal is to establish a new order through domination and control, using fear and violence to maintain their power. Their expansion into the Mojave represents a direct threat to the new California Republic, leading to a deadly struggle for control over the region. Fact 81. The Enclave's presence in the wasteland is a constant reminder of the pre-war government's desire for control. Despite being remnants of the U.S. government, they view the survivors of the Great War as inferior. Their goal is to re-establish the U.S. as a superpower, often using methods that are ruthless and morally ambiguous. Their high-tech weaponry, such as vertibirds and advanced power armor, makes them a dangerous force in the wasteland. The Enclave's belief in their own superiority leads them to clash with many other factions, further cementing their status as a terrifying, unyielding threat. Fact 82. Fallout 4 introduces a new level of complexity with the Institute, a faction hidden beneath the Commonwealth. The Institute's primary focus is on the development of advanced robotics, particularly the creation of synths, humanoid robots that are indistinguishable from humans. These creations challenge the idea of what it means to be human, blurring the lines between artificial and natural life. The ethical dilemmas posed by the Institute's work, particularly surrounding the synth's rights, play a central role in the game, leading players to question the morality of progress and technological advancement in a post-apocalyptic world. Fact 83. The Mojave Wasteland is filled with dangerous creatures, but one of the most iconic is the Night Stalker. These terrifying creatures resemble a mix of a coyote and a rattlesnake, with venomous fangs and a predatory nature. Night Stalkers are highly intelligent and hunt in packs, making them particularly dangerous. They are often found in the most desolate and irradiated parts of the wasteland, adding to the ever-present threat of mutation and survival. Despite their fearsome reputation, Night Stalkers are just another example of the unpredictable and terrifying consequences of radiation and the Great War. Fact 84, the Pip-Boy 3000, is a beloved device in the Fallout series, and its functionality goes beyond mere convenience. It allows players to manage their inventory, track quests, and monitor health, providing crucial information while navigating the wasteland. Its design, with a retro-futuristic interface and a monochrome green screen, is a nostalgic nod to a pre-war world that existed before the chaos of the Great War. The Pip-Boy is more than a tool. It's a companion in the wasteland, offering guidance, entertainment, and survival assistance in a world where every moment could be a struggle. Fact 85. In Fallout, New Vegas, Caesar's Legion is an authoritarian faction that seeks to impose a brutal form of order on the wasteland. Led by Caesar, who sees himself as the reincarnation of the Roman Empire, the Legion relies on strict discipline, slavery, and conquest. Their methods are harsh, with crucifixion and human sacrifice used as a means of maintaining control. The Legion's growth threatens the stability of the Mojave Wasteland, bringing them into direct conflict with the new California Republic and other factions fighting for freedom and autonomy. Fact 86. The Brotherhood of Steel is a faction known for its focus on technology and preserving pre-war knowledge. However, the Brotherhood's obsession with control often leads to friction with other factions. While their mission to protect humanity from technological threats is noble, their refusal to share their advanced knowledge with others can be seen as a form of oppression. The Brotherhood's strict code and militaristic nature make them both revered and feared as they seek to maintain control over powerful technologies that could reshape the future of the wasteland. Fact 87. Fallout. New Vegas features a complex and varied landscape, with regions that range from desolate deserts to lush, irradiated areas. One of the most notable locations is the Sierra Madre, an enigmatic and dangerous resort that once served as a symbol of pre-war luxury. The Sierra Madre holds many secrets, including a vast fortune hidden within its walls. However, the resort is now a deadly trap, filled with radiation, deadly creatures, and deadly traps. The Sierra Madre represents the fleeting nature of wealth and the consequences of greed in a post-apocalyptic world. Fact 88. The supermutants in Fallout were created by the Forced Evolutionary Virus, FEV, a biological weapon developed by the U.S. government. The FEV was originally designed to enhance soldiers, making them stronger and more resistant to radiation. However, the virus had unintended consequences, transforming humans into hulking, mindless mutants. Super mutants now roam the wasteland, often seeking to infect others with the virus and expand their numbers. Their existence is a direct result of mankind's experiments with science and power, leading to a world full of unintended horrors. Fact 89 Fallout 4 introduces the Minutemen, a faction dedicated to protecting settlements and bringing safety to the Commonwealth. The Minutemen are a symbol of hope, working to restore some semblance of order in the wasteland. Despite their noble intentions, they face constant challenges from raiders, super mutants, and other factions who seek to control the region. The Minutemen's efforts reflect the struggle for community and safety in a world that has been torn apart by the Great War, highlighting the importance of working together to rebuild in the face of overwhelming odds. Fact 90. In Fallout, the vaults are not just shelters from nuclear fallout, they are also experiments in human behavior. Many of the vaults were designed to test social and psychological theories, with the inhabitants subjected to cruel and inhumane conditions. Vault 101, for example, was designed to keep its residents isolated from the outside world, testing their mental resilience. Vault 13, on the other hand, was the site of an experiment involving limited resources, where the inhabitants were denied sufficient water to test their survival instincts. These experiments left a legacy of tragedy and broken lives. Fact 91 The Mojave Wasteland and Fallout. New Vegas is not only a vast desert, but also a battleground for some of the most powerful factions in the wasteland. Among them are the New California Republic, NCR, and Caesar's Legion. The NCR seeks to restore democracy and law, while the Legion operates on a brutal, dictatorial ideology based on the Roman Empire. These two factions are at odds over the future of the Mojave, and the conflict between them sets the stage for the player to shape the destiny of the region through their choices. Fact 92. In Fallout 3, the lone wanderer embarks on a quest to find their father, James, who has mysteriously left Vault 101. The player discovers that James has been working on a project called Project Purity, a plan to purify the waters of the capital wasteland and make them drinkable again. However, Project Purity's success hinges on the control of a massive water treatment facility located deep in the heart of the wasteland. The search for James ultimately becomes a race against time to save the wasteland from a future without clean water. Fact 93. The Vault Tech Corporation created vaults across the United States, but many of these were not built for the safety of their inhabitants. Some vaults were designed as social experiments to test human behavior under extreme conditions. Vault 12, for example, was built to expose its inhabitants to lethal doses of radiation to study its effects. Other vaults involved isolation, forced cooperation, or genetic manipulation. These experiments led to horrific consequences, and the vaults became symbols of both hope and tragedy, each one holding secrets that would only be uncovered after the Great War. Fact 94. The Deathclaws are one of the most terrifying creatures in the Fallout universe, and their origins trace back to pre-war military experiments. Created as part of the U.S. government's biological weapons program, Deathclaws were designed to be unstoppable predators in battle. After the Great War, they escaped into the wasteland, where they became one of the most formidable threats to survivors. Their speed, strength, and relentless nature make them a nightmare for anyone who dares venture into their territory. Despite their origins as weapons, deathclaws have become part of the wasteland's natural ecosystem. Fact 95. The Enclave is one of the most powerful and secretive factions in the Fallout series. Comprised of remnants from the U.S. government, the Enclave believes in restoring pre war America and views themselves as the rightful heirs to the nation's legacy. They are well equipped with advanced technology, including power armor, robots, and nuclear weapons. Their ultimate goal is to purify the wasteland by eliminating anyone they deem unworthy, often using mass destruction to enforce their vision of a pure America. The Enclave's presence is a constant reminder of the dangers of unchecked power and control. Fact 96. The Institute is a mysterious faction that operates from deep beneath the Commonwealth in Fallout 4. This highly advanced organization focuses on the development of synthetic humans, known as synths, and believes they are the next step in human evolution. Their work, while impressive, has raised ethical questions regarding the nature of artificial life. The Institute's actions, including the kidnapping of people from the Commonwealth to create synths, have led to a growing conflict with other factions like the Railroad, who fight for the rights and freedom of these creations. The Institute's true intentions remain shrouded in secrecy. Fact 97. The Nuka-Cola Quantum is a rare variant of the classic Nuka-Cola in Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. Known for its glowing blue appearance, Nuka-Cola Quantum is said to be more than just a beverage. It provides a temporary boost to the player's energy and action points, making it a valuable item in the wasteland. However, the drink's glow is a result of radioactive isotopes, which is part of the post-apocalyptic world's twisted sense of consumerism. Nuka-Cola Quantum represents both the wonders and dangers of technology in a world where even a soft drink is radioactive. Fact 98. The supermutants of Fallout were created by the Forced Evolutionary Virus, FEV, a biological weapon designed to turn regular humans into super soldiers. While the FEV was originally intended to enhance human physical and mental abilities, its side effects were disastrous. The virus transformed humans into towering, brutish monsters with immense strength and resistance to radiation. The super mutants are often depicted as mindless creatures driven by violence, but some retain fragments of their past humanity, making them tragic figures in the wasteland, forced to exist between their former selves and their monstrous forms. Fact 99. The Brotherhood of Steel is a faction that seeks to control and preserve pre-war technology, believing that advanced tech is the key to humanity's survival. However, their strict code and reluctance to share their knowledge with others have made them both allies and enemies in the wasteland. The Brotherhood views itself as the protector of humanity, but their focus on preserving the past often puts them in conflict with other factions, who argue that it's time to build a new future, not just cling to the remnants of a lost civilization. Fact 100. The wasteland in Fallout is filled with ruins from the pre-war world, and one of the most iconic is the Washington Monument, located in the capital wasteland of Fallout 3. The monument, once a symbol of American pride and unity, now stands as a haunting reminder of the country's fall from grace. The once majestic structure is now home to the Republic of Dave, a small, eccentric settlement in the wasteland. The contrast between the monument's original purpose and its current use underscores the devastation left by the Great War and the strange new societies that have formed in its wake. Fact 101 Fallout. New Vegas features the mysterious figure of Mr. House, the enigmatic ruler of New Vegas. A pre war businessman, Mr. House managed to survive the Great War through the use of advanced technology, including a life sustaining system that kept him alive for over 200 years. Now, he controls the New Vegas Strip with an iron fist, using robots and high tech security to maintain order. His ultimate goal is to restore New Vegas to its former pre war glory, but his authoritarian rule makes him a controversial figure in the Mojave Wasteland, particularly among the factions vying for control. Fact 102. The Railroad is a faction that fights for the freedom of synths, artificial humans created by the Institute. The Railroad's members believe that synths deserve the same rights as any other human being, seeing their creation as a step toward equality and freedom. They work in secrecy to rescue synths from the Institute, often using coded messages and hidden tunnels to operate undetected. Despite their noble cause, the Railroad's efforts put them at odds with both the Institute and other factions who view the synths as a dangerous threat to the future of humanity. Fact 103. The Mojave Wasteland is home to many dangers, and one of the most terrifying is the cazador, a mutated species of giant, aggressive insect. These creatures have deadly stingers capable of injecting venom into their victims, causing paralysis and slow death. Cazadors are fast and relentless, often attacking in swarms, making them a significant threat to survivors in the Mojave. Their presence is a reminder of the unpredictable nature of the wasteland, where creatures and mutants evolve into monstrous versions of their pre war counterparts due to radiation and environmental changes. Fact 104. The Minutemen are a faction in Fallout 4 dedicated to protecting settlements and ensuring the safety of the Commonwealth's inhabitants. Originally formed as a militia to protect civilians, the Minutemen operate on the principle of cooperation and mutual support. They believe that the wasteland's future depends on the rebuilding of communities and the establishment of order. The Minutemen's efforts to establish a new, stable society are noble, but they face constant challenges from hostile factions like the Raiders, Super Mutants, and the Institute, who seek to dominate the region for their own ends. Fact 105. Vault 11 is one of the most tragic vaults in the Fallout series. The inhabitants of Vault 11 were subjected to an experiment that forced them to sacrifice one person every year to satisfy the vault's computer. The experiment's purpose was to test the moral integrity of the survivors, pushing them to decide who would be the next victim. The horrors of this experiment eventually led to a rebellion, but by the time the vault doors opened, the survivors were broken. Vault 11's story is a dark commentary on the choices humanity makes when pushed to the brink. Fact 106. The Deathclaws in the Fallout universe were originally created by the U.S. government as part of a biological weapons program. These mutated creatures were meant to be unstoppable soldiers, designed for close combat and extreme durability. However, the Deathclaws quickly became a dangerous presence in the wasteland after the Great War. Their immense strength and speed make them one of the deadliest creatures to encounter, and even the most well-equipped survivors must be cautious when facing these monstrous predators. Fact 107. The Institute, introduced in Fallout 4, is one of the most advanced factions in the Wasteland. Beneath the surface of the Commonwealth, the Institute is working to push humanity forward through the development of cutting edge technologies, including artificial intelligence and synths, advanced humanoid robots. However, their methods are shrouded in secrecy and are often viewed as unethical by other factions. The Institute's creations and their influence on the Commonwealth spark debates over the role of technology in shaping the future, and their actions have made them one of the most controversial factions in the Wasteland. Fact 108. The Brotherhood of Steel is one of the most iconic factions in the Fallout series. Their obsession with preserving technology and advancing humanity through the use of pre war tech has made them both powerful and controversial. The Brotherhood's focus on military might, coupled with their strict code of conduct, has led them to be seen as both protectors and oppressors. While they seek to safeguard humanity's future, their reluctance to share their technological knowledge with others often puts them at odds with factions that believe in a more democratic approach to rebuilding society. Fact 109. The Mojave Wasteland in Fallout. New Vegas is a land of deep political and ideological divides. One of the key struggles in the Mojave is the rivalry between the New California Republic, NCR, and Caesar's Legion. The NCR, a Democratic faction, seeks to restore law and order to the region, while Caesar's Legion, a brutal authoritarian group, seeks to conquer the wasteland and impose their vision of order through violence and domination. These two factions are locked in a battle for control of the Mojave, and the player's choices will determine the region's future. Fact 110. Fallout 4 introduces the Vault Tech Assisted Targeting System, VATS, a combat mechanic that allows players to slow down time and target specific body parts of enemies with precision. This system makes combat more strategic and dynamic, allowing players to carefully plan their attacks. VATS is a signature feature of the Fallout series, adding an extra layer of depth to the gameplay. It reflects the game's focus on choice and consequence, allowing players to decide how they approach each encounter, whether through combat, diplomacy, or stealth. Fact 111. The Brotherhood of Steel in Fallout 4 plays a crucial role in the Commonwealth, with their primary goal of recovering and preserving pre-war technology. They are deeply committed to protecting humanity from the misuse of powerful technological advancements, which, if left unchecked, could bring about further destruction. Their military presence and heavy use of advanced weaponry make them a dominant force in the wasteland. However, their secretive nature and their unwillingness to share knowledge have often led to tension with other factions who believe the Brotherhood's vision of control limits the possibility for future cooperation. Fact 112. Fallout 4 introduces the Minutemen, a faction of settlers dedicated to protecting the Commonwealth's people and helping them rebuild in the aftermath of the Great War. Unlike other factions, the Minutemen advocate for democracy, working to ensure that settlements are free from oppression. Their approach is one of cooperation and mutual aid, unlike the more militaristic or authoritarian factions like the Brotherhood of Steel or Caesar's Legion. The Minutemen's ultimate goal is to foster a community-driven society where everyone has the opportunity to live in peace and safety, though their efforts often face overwhelming opposition. Fact 113. In Fallout, New Vegas Mr. House is a pre war businessman who controls the city of New Vegas from his high tech automated base. Using advanced technology, including robotics and artificial intelligence, Mr. House has maintained his life for over 2 centuries. He has built an empire in the Mojave Wasteland, operating with a mixture of charm, power, and manipulation. Mr. House's vision for New Vegas is one of prosperity and autonomy, but his methods and the isolation he maintains from the Mojave's struggles make him a controversial figure among the factions vying for control of the region. Fact 114: Fallout 3 features the Capital Wasteland, a radioactive, post apocalyptic version of Washington, D.C. Once a symbol of democracy and power, the capital is now a desolate, ruined landscape where survivors struggle to survive. The lone wanderer's journey through this wasteland is one of self discovery and hope as they search for their father, uncovering the truth about Project Purity and the fate of the Capital Wasteland. The Capital Wasteland is not only a backdrop for the game's story, but also a powerful metaphor for the fragility of civilization and the resilience of those who remain. Fact 115: The Institute is one of the most technologically advanced factions in the Fallout universe. Hidden beneath the Commonwealth, the Institute has developed cutting edge technology, including the creation of synths, humanoid robots that are indistinguishable from humans. The Institute's goal is to improve humanity through the use of technology, but their secretive nature and controversial practices, such as kidnapping people for experiments, have made them a target for opposition. The Institute's actions and the ethical questions surrounding their work make them one of the most complex factions in the game. Fact 116: Caesar's Legion in Fallout. New Vegas is a brutal, authoritarian faction led by a self proclaimed dictator, Caesar. They model their society after the ancient Roman Empire, using extreme tactics to maintain control. Slavery, crucifixion, and violence are key components of the Legion's regime, and they believe that the strong must rule over the weak. Their goal is to conquer the Mojave Wasteland and impose their brutal form of order. The Legion's philosophy is diametrically opposed to the more democratic New California Republic, and their clash sets the stage for much of the game's conflict. Fact 117: The Pip-Boy 3000 is one of the most iconic items in the Fallout series. This wrist-mounted device is used by the player to manage their inventory, track quests, and monitor vital statistics such as health and radiation levels. It also allows players to access the radio and various other features that help them navigate the wasteland. The Pip-Boy's retro-futuristic design, with its glowing green screen, has become synonymous with the Fallout series, serving as both a functional tool and a nostalgic link to a past world that no longer exists. Fact 118: The Deathclaws were created by the U.S. government as part of their biological weapons program, and they were intended to be super soldiers for use in combat. However, the Deathclaws quickly became one of the most fearsome predators in the wasteland. Their massive size, incredible strength, and deadly claws make them nearly unstoppable in combat. Though they were originally created as weapons, Deathclaws now roam freely in the wasteland, posing a threat to anyone unfortunate enough to encounter them. Their existence is a testament to the dangers of biological experimentation and the unintended consequences of warfare. Fact 119: Fallout: New Vegas introduces the Sierra Madre, a luxurious pre-war casino and resort located in the Sierra Nevada mountains. Despite its former glory, the Sierra Madre has become a haunted and dangerous place, filled with traps, radiation, and the remnants of a lost civilization. The resort's history is tied to a series of tragedies, including the discovery of a vast fortune hidden within its walls. The Sierra Madre represents the decay of pre war excess, a once grand symbol of wealth now lost to the ravages of time and the chaos of the post apocalyptic world. Fact 120: the super mutants in Fallout are not just mindless monsters, they are survivors of a horrific experiment that transformed them from ordinary humans into towering, mutated creatures. The forced evolutionary virus, FIV, was developed to create a stronger, more resilient breed of human, but it had unintended consequences. While some super mutants retain their intelligence and personality, others are little more than savage beasts. Their existence is a tragic reminder of humanity's attempts to manipulate biology, and their struggle for survival in the wasteland reflects the consequences of tampering with nature. Fact 121: the wasteland in Fallout is filled with remnants of the pre war world, and one of the most notable is the Washington Monument, which stands in ruins in the capital wasteland of Fallout 3. Once a symbol of the nation's strength and unity, the monument now serves as a haunting reminder of the destruction brought by the Great War. The capital and its surrounding landmarks lie buried under rubble, but their remains continue to tell the story of a civilization lost in an instant, leaving a powerful legacy for survivors to uncover. Fact 122: the Institute in Fallout 4 is home to some of the most advanced scientific achievements in the Fallout universe, including the creation of synths, human like robots designed to perform labor and espionage. The Institute's focus on synthetic life has sparked a moral debate about the rights of these creations, many of whom become indistinguishable from humans. The Institute's secretive nature and its experimentation with artificial intelligence and robotics have made them both a valuable resource and a dangerous threat, leading to conflict with various factions in the Commonwealth. Fact 123: the wasteland is often a place of hope, where small groups of survivors form tight knit communities to rebuild from the ashes. One such community is Megaton, a settlement in Fallout 3. Megaton is built around a large, unexploded nuclear bomb, a reminder of the unpredictable dangers of the post apocalyptic world. Despite the constant threat of destruction, the people of Megaton have made a home there, symbolizing humanity's resilience in the face of overwhelming odds. The town is a microcosm of the wasteland's delicate balance between life and death. Fact 124: the NCR, New California Republic, in Fallout, New Vegas represents the best of humanity's ideals, striving to rebuild a government based on democracy, law, and order. While the NCR's intentions are noble, their rapid expansion and bureaucratic inefficiencies have made them unpopular with some factions in the Mojave Wasteland. The NCR's struggle to maintain peace while managing their territories is a reflection of the broader challenges faced by any post apocalyptic society as they navigate the tension between ideals and the harsh realities of survival in a fractured world. Fact 125: the Fallout universe is home to a variety of mutated creatures, but the Mirelurk stands out as one of the most deadly. Resembling a mutated crab, the Mirelurk's hard shell and aggressive behavior make it a formidable enemy in the wasteland. These creatures are often found near bodies of water, particularly in swamps and marshes. The Mirelurk's rapid growth and adaptability are a result of the nuclear fallout, and their presence serves as a reminder of how radiation has affected the ecosystem, transforming once familiar creatures into monstrous, deadly predators. Fact 126: the Enclave is one of the most enigmatic factions in the Fallout series. Comprised of remnants from the US government, the Enclave is driven by a belief in the superiority of pre war America and the need to restore it. Using advanced technology and military might, they seek to eliminate anyone they deem unworthy of survival. Their ultimate goal is to reestablish a pure America, but their methods are brutal, often leading to conflict with other factions. The Enclave's belief in their own righteousness makes them a dangerous force in the wasteland. Fact 127: Fallout: New Vegas features a unique faction known as the Legion, led by the self proclaimed Caesar. The Legion is an authoritarian society modeled after the ancient Roman Empire, with a focus on strength, discipline, and conquest. Their brutal methods, including slavery and crucifixion, have made them one of the most feared factions in the wasteland. The Legion's philosophy stands in stark contrast to that of the new California Republic, and their expansion into the Mojave has sparked a fierce battle for control over the region, with the fate of the Mojave hanging in the balance. Fact 128: Fallout is filled with moral dilemmas, and one of the most significant is the creation of synths by the Institute in Fallout 4. These humanoid robots are designed to be indistinguishable from humans, and the ethical questions surrounding their creation and treatment are central to the game's narrative. Some factions, like the Railroad, view the synths as sentient beings deserving of freedom, while others, like the Institute, see them as tools to be used for their own purposes. The conflict surrounding the synths highlights the complexities of identity, autonomy, and the value of life in a post apocalyptic world. Fact 129: The Vault Tech Corporation is responsible for creating the vaults that are featured throughout the Fallout series. While many vaults were designed to protect survivors from the nuclear fallout, others were part of sinister experiments. Vault 101, for example, was created as an experiment to see how a society would function if its inhabitants were never allowed to leave. These vaults, originally thought to be sanctuaries, became traps for the people who entered them, and their stories serve as a grim reminder of the darker side of humanity's attempts to control survival. Fact 130: The Lone Wanderer, the protagonist of Fallout 3, is one of the most iconic figures in the Fallout series. Raised in Vault 101, the Lone Wanderer's journey begins with the search for their father, but quickly evolves into a fight for the future of the capital wasteland. Along the way, the Lone Wanderer encounters various factions, creatures, and moral dilemmas, all of which shape their path. The Lone Wanderer's journey is one of self-discovery, survival, and choice, and their actions have the power to determine the fate of the wasteland and its inhabitants. Thank you for drifting with me through the mysteries of the Fallout universe tonight. May the stories of survival, hope, and the echoes of the past fill your dreams with quiet wonder. Let the rhythm of your breath guide you into peaceful rest as you continue your journey through the wasteland in your mind, where every step leads to a new discovery. Good night.